And have you, I didn't. Yeah. I think that's, you have to get a business license also.
Okay. Yes,
Yeah.
we got that.
Okay. I'm not showing anyone online. If you're online and would like to speak in favor of or in opposition to this request, please raise your hand. Is there anyone in the chambers who'd like to speak in favor of or in opposition?
I see nobody in the chamber.
Seeing none, we'll close the public portion of this meeting and get staff comment.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Gunnar Hand, Director of Planning and Urban Design. This is a special use permit for a short-term rental, non-owner occupied. This is probably the closest we've gotten to a potential administrative short-term rental since we've started the new ordinance, but not quite. There is a history of short-term rentals at this property, but again, because there's been some change in ownership, as I understand it, and then some other stuff happening. This is a new application. This is in the central area plan. We received no, received no letters of support, no letters in opposition. There are no notices of violation. Staff recommends approval for 1 year with conditions. It's a small postage stamp parcel with that second unit on the top. So we are recommending a maximum of 3 people in the unit at one time, not including the other tenants, and 1 car off street. There's also a historic brick sidewalk that's a little overgrown that we're asking them to maintain a little bit.
Well, yeah, we've cleaned up those weeds and we'll keep cleaning them up.
Yep.
Are there any questions of staff? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion. Commissioner Strauss.
I move to approve SP 2023-093 according to staff stipulations and comments.
Is that a
I'll
second,
second
Commissioner?
it, Commissioner Outs. Oh, sorry.
Second by Commissioner Isles. Roll call.
Moeller,
Aye.
Strauss,
Aye.
Ward,
Aye.
Armstrong,
Aye.
Beth,
Aye.
Isles,
Aye.
Ernst.
Aye.
Mr. Chairman, that motion to recommend approval of this special use permit for 1 year, subject to the conditions and the staff report, passes 7 in favor and none opposed.
Thank you, Ms. Schwartz. Your application will be heard again on November 30th at 7 p.m. in the commission chambers. We're ready to call the next case.
Our next special use permit is SP 2023-095, Rhiannon Caballero. Special use permit to operate a short-term rental at 535 Central Avenue. Please include the following items as part of the record for this case: the city's currently adopted zoning and subdivision regulations, the official zoning map for the area in question, the city's currently adopted master plan for the area in question, the staff report and attachments dated November 13, 2023, the application, other documents, plans, pictures, and maps submitted by the applicant in furtherance of the case and contained in the official file, the notice in the Wyandotte Echo, and the notices to property owners. Does any member of the commission have any contact to disclose on this application?
No. Ms. Caballero,
Thank you.
please, I've unmuted you.
Okay, great.
Please tell us a little bit about your case.
Hi, this is Rhiannon Caballero, and the purpose for this special permit request is to run a nightly rental or a short-term rental at 535A Central Avenue. It's the second story of a practicing law firm.
Okay. Are
Ms.
there
Kelly,
any
can you state your address real quick for the record?
My home address is 3542 North 51st Street. The property in question is 535A Central Avenue.
Thank you. Sorry, Mr. Chair.
Ms. Caballero, I don't know that we got the city and state of your address. If you could please add
Kansas City, Kansas, 66104 for my home address.
Thank you. Are there any questions for the applicant? Seeing none, I'm going to open the public portion of the meeting. Is there anyone if there's anyone online who'd like to speak in favor of or in opposition to this request, please raise your hand. And in doing so, Mr. Director Hand, is there anyone in the chambers?
No one in the chamber.
Is there anyone in the chambers at all?
Yes, there's a few left.
Okay.
Couple holdouts.
Seeing none, we're going to close the public portion of this meeting and get staff comment.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Gunnar Hand, Director of Planning and Design. Again, this is a special use permit for a short-term rental, non-owner occupied. This is in the central area plan. We received no letters of support, no letters in opposition. There are some old notices of violation that have all been rectified. Staff recommends approval for 1 year with conditions, maximum of 6 people in the unit and 2 cars off street.
Does anyone on the commission have any questions for the director? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion. Commissioner Armstrong.
I move to approve SP 2023-095, subject to staff conditions and stipulations.
Is that a second, Commissioner Strauss?
It is.
Is there any discussion? Seeing none, roll call.
Moeller,
Aye.
Strauss,
Aye.
Ward,
Aye.
Armstrong,
Aye.
Beth,
Aye.
Isles,
Aye.
Ernst.
Aye.
Mr. Chairman, that motion to recommend approval of this special use permit for 1 year, subject to the conditions in the staff report, passes 7 in favor and none opposed.
Thank you. Your application will be heard again on November 30th at 7 p.m. in the commission chambers.
Our next application is special use permit SP 2023-097, Aaron Lau. Special use permit to operate a short-term rental at 4110 South Minnie Street. Please include the following items as part of the record for this case. The city's currently adopted zoning and subdivision regulations, the official zoning map for the area in question, the city's currently adopted master plan for the area in question, the staff report and attachments dated November 13, 2023, the application and other documents, plans, pictures, and maps submitted by the applicant in furtherance of the case and contained in the official file, the notice in the Wyandotte Echo, and the notices to property owners. Does any member of the commission have any contact to disclose on this application?
No.
Thank you.
Mr. Lau, please tell us a little bit about your case.
Hello, good morning, everyone. Thank you for letting me present my case. I would like to, my name is Aaron Lau, and I live in 12230 Goodman Street in Overland Park, Kansas. And I would like to apply for the short-term rental permit on this location, 4110 South Minnie Street. I purchased this property about 2 months ago. This house is a fixer, lots of junk inside, and I worked very hard last couple of months trying to bring it up to date. And I did want to mention I did receive a letter from the inspector, Gina. She saw I got some debris outside. I was working hard by myself, and then there's some debris left in the front yard. But as soon as I got the letter, I able to remove the junk which is not supposed to be on the driveway after I saw the letter. And then I called her back immediately and trying to adjust her the letter. And then I also show her that I'm making improvements. So I talked to her about a week ago, and then my goal is to finish all the improvement needed, doing a lot of work. I promise I'm going to make this house really nice. And I'm an experienced operator. I'm currently doing Airbnb full time, so I'll be managing the property myself. I live about 20 minutes from the house, and I'm very hands-on. I'm actually a super host on the Airbnb side, so I'm very I'm full time, and I'm managing it. Do the best I can and maintain it. And one of my rule is absolutely no party, no loud music, no drug, no illegal activity. I'm very, very careful on what are the people coming inside the house, I respect the neighbor very highly, and I work very hard, and I want to maintain it that way. So and let's see, anything else I would like to say. And so I will be self-managing it. I will allow pets, and I will have a fenced yard. So this way the pet won't be allowed to go anywhere. So it will be all fenced in. And I do understand I will need to have obtain a business license. And I think that's all the things I would like to mention. I would hope to get the approval tonight, and I hope to be able to start operating sometimes in December. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lau. Are there any questions for the applicant? Seeing none, if there's anyone online who'd like to speak in favor of or in opposition, please raise your hand. Is there anyone in the chambers who'd like to speak in favor of or in opposition?
No in the chamber, Mr. Chair.
Seeing none, I'm going to close the public portion of the meeting and get staff comment.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Gunnar Hand, Director of Planning and Design. Again, this is a special use permit for short-term rental, non-owner occupied. This one's in the Rosedale area plan. We received no letters of support, no letters in opposition. There are no notices of violation active on the property. Staff recommends approval for 6 months with conditions for a maximum of 6 people at any given time and 2 cars off street. Real quick, the reason we tied it to 6 months, typically when we see these short-term rentals, they're already finished products, and then they apply for the short-term rental. That's not necessarily required. But on this one, Mr. Lau came to us right as he had bought the property basically and said, hey, I want to fix this property up and do a short-term rental. And we kind of didn't know how to manage that. So basically we applied 6 months to it so he can fix up his property, come back for a renewal and take it from there. Whether that's good, bad, or ugly, we're again, as you've seen throughout the last few months, we're taking a lot of these as they come to us and trying to learn and carry them over to potential improvements in next May when we come back to you with our annual report.
Are there any questions for staff?
So are there any other legal or non-legal short-term rentals on his block?
Not on this specific section of Mini Street. I'll be honest, one of the thoughts we had when he first applied was, is he just getting a special use permit to hold his space? But he's obviously actively working on renovating the project and moving it forward. So it was kind of a trust but verify, if you will.
Okay. And do you understand all the conditions that basically in 4 months you'll have to reapply?
Definitely. Yeah. Thank you for giving me the opportunity, and I do appreciate, and I will, comply, come back again in to get the, the long term, the 1 year, in 6 months. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right, Commissioner Strauss, do you have a question? Are you ready to roll?
I'm ready to roll.
I'll entertain a motion.
All right, I move that we approve SP 2023-097 for 6 months, and according to staff stipulations for him to return and apply for a 1 year once he finishes his project.
Got a second, Commissioner Armstrong?
Yes, it is.
We have a motion and a second on the floor. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, roll call.
Moeller,
Aye.
Strauss,
Aye.
Ward,
Aye.
Armstrong,
Aye.
Beth,
Aye.
Isles,
Aye.
Ernst.
Aye.
Mr. Chairman, that motion to recommend approval of this special use permit for 6 months, subject to the conditions in the staff report, passes 7 in favor and none opposed.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
This application will be heard again on November 30th at 7 p.m. in the commission chambers. Commissioner Strauss, do you have a question? Oh, your
No,
hand
I
was raised.
I was from the motion. Sorry, I'll lower it back
Oh.
down.
All right.
Oh, go ahead, Janet.
Mr. Chairman, that now we have completed the special use permits, and we're going to move on to the plats. The first one is plat 2023-028, Austin Thompson with Atlas Land Consultants. preliminary and final plat to create 2 residential lots at 2321 South 63rd Street. Please include the following items as part of the record for this case. The city's currently adopted zoning and subdivision regulations, the official zoning map for the area in question, the city's currently adopted master plan for the area in question, the staff report and attachments dated November 13, 2023, the application and other documents, plans, pictures, and maps submitted by the applicant in furtherance of the case and contained in the official file, the notices to property owners, and the testimony at the Board of Zoning Appeals meeting earlier this evening where the variance was approved. Does any member of the commission have any contact to disclose on this application?
No. Mr. Thompson, please tell us a little bit about your project, keeping in mind that we heard a little bit tonight at the Board of Zoning Appeals.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Austin Thompson. I'm with Atlas Land Consulting, 14500 Parallel Road, Unit R, Baser, Kansas, 66007. And what our client is looking to do is take their 37.5-acre parcel and split it into 2 residential lots.
Okay. Do we have any questions for the applicant? Seeing none, we're going to open the public portion of this meeting. Is there anyone in favor of or in opposition anyone would like to speak in favor of or in opposition to this request that's online? Is there anyone in the chambers, Director Hand?
Nobody in the chamber, Mr. Chair.
Seeing none, we're going to close the public portion of this meeting and get staff comments.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Gunnar Hand, Director of Planning and Design. Again, this is a preliminary and final plat for 2 lots. It was heard in conjunction with BOZA 2023-040 that was approved last night. This is in a citywide comprehensive plan in the Turner Morris neighborhood. We received no letters of support. I don't think it raised to the level of an opposition, but if you recall at the last hearing, we did have a couple of questions about this one. Concerns from the property to the south, no notices of violation. Staff recommends approval with conditions. We'd also ask that the 2 amendments we made to the BOZA case are also added to this condition of approval.
Thank you. Are there any questions for staff? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion. Mr. Armstrong.
I move to approve plat 2023-028, subject to staff comments and stipulations, including adding the 2 amendments from the 2023-040 BOZA case heard yesterday.
Is that a second, Commissioner Strauss?
It is.
Roll call.
Mueller,
Aye.
Strauss,
Aye.
Ward,
Aye.
Armstrong,
Aye.
Beth,
Aye.
Isles,
Aye.
Ernst.
Aye.
Mr. Chairman, that motion to approve this plat, subject to the revised conditions, passes 7 in favor and none opposed.
And Secretary Parker, you're going to have to remind me since I got drafted.
No,
About
plats
it.
do not go to the Board of
That's
Commissioners.
what I thought. So thank you, Mr. Thompson.
Thank you.
Our next plat is 2023-030, Rob Young with R.L. Buford and Associates. Preliminary plat to adjust lot lines between a single-family residence and a church at 539 Greeley and 530 Quindaro Boulevard. Please include the following items as part of the record for this case. The city's currently adopted zoning and subdivision regulations, the official zoning map for the area in question, the city's currently adopted master plan for the area in question, the staff report and attachments dated November 13, 2023, the application and other documents, plans, pictures, and maps submitted by the applicant in furtherance of the case and contained in the official file, and the notices to property owners. Does any member of the commission have any contact to disclose on this case?
No.
Thank you.
Mr. Young, please tell us a little bit about your project.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
All right, perfect. So this is essentially 4 platted lots. The property on the west side is a single family residence with a garage. It is 1 tract per your GIS mapping, but it's actually 3 of the lots. The other lot to the east is a church property. They are all owned by the same owner. The south side of the residential property has a parking lot that's been utilized by the church for many years. The church is wanting to sell the single family home and the garage, but want to retain the ability to use that parking lot. So we are adjusting the lot lines, if you will. We're taking 4 lots and creating 2 and changing that lot line so it runs just on the south side of the garage and keeps the parking with the church. The staff had a couple comments. I think a lot of them were fairly general. One was that there was some barbed wire on the property that needed to be removed. That's been removed. And I think another was with some of the general condition of the house. And I know the owner has been working on remedying that as well. So we are essentially doing a lot line adjustment here.
Thank you, Mr. Young. Do any commissioners have any questions for the applicant? Seeing none, are there any anyone in the audience who'd like to speak in favor of or in opposition to this request?
Nobody in the chamber, Mr. Chair.
I'm seeing none online. Seeing none, I'm going to close the public portion of the meeting and get staff comment.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Gunnar Hand, Director of Planning and Design. Again, this is a preliminary plat to replat the church and single family home. This is a northeast area. Excuse me. This is the northeast area plan. We received no letters of support. Excuse me, no letters in opposition. There are some old notices of violation that are not germane to this case. Staff recommends approval with conditions, including coming back for a final plat.
Are there any questions for staff? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion. Commissioner Armstrong.
I move to approve plat 2023-030, subject to staff comments and stipulations.
Got a second, Commissioner Strauss?
Yes.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, roll call.
Moeller,
Aye.
Strauss,
Aye.
Ward,
Aye.
Armstrong,
Aye.
Beth,
Aye.
Isles,
Aye.
Ernst.
Aye.
Mr. Chairman, that motion to approve this plat, subject to the conditions, passes 7 in favor, none opposed. Mr. Chairman, we'll now move on to our plan review applications. First one is PR 2023-028. Jacob Dobbs with Call Valley Engineering. Final development plan for a change in occupancy to convert a vacant retail shop into a laundromat at 1720 Minnesota Avenue. Please include the following items as part of the record for this case: the city's currently adopted zoning and subdivision regulations, the official zoning map for the area in question, the city's currently adopted master plan for the area in question, the staff report and attachments dated November 13, 2023, the application and other documents, plans, pictures, and maps submitted by the applicant in furtherance of the case and contained in the official file and the notices to property owners. Does any member of the commission have any contact to disclose on this application?
No.
Thank you.
Mr. Dobbs, I see you're online. Will you be presenting? I've allowed you to talk, but you didn't have your hand raised. There's also a Matt Cross with PR 2023-28. Mr. Dobbs, please go ahead.
Yes, I'm here. I'm Jacob with Caw Valley Engineering. My personal residence is 6402 North Highland Avenue in Kansas City, Missouri. I submitted this application on behalf of Tom and Summer Lawson, the owners, who wish to redevelop 1720 Minnesota Avenue into a laundromat. To do this, that would entail us removing the existing building and building a new one on site, moving some up the two accesses further from the intersection of Minnesota and 18th, and repaving that parking lot and adding landscaping.
Thank you. Is Ms. Lawson, who's at the podium, wanting to present as part of the applicant?
I'm Kathleen Warman with Warman Architects. I'll be making a very brief presentation in the interest of time. Good morning. With me here in the chamber is Tom Lawson, the owner, and Summer. Jacob, obviously with Caw Valley Engineering, is our civil engineer on the project. In the interest of time, I think this warrants just a little bit of background. We've been working on the project for about a year, trying to figure out how to make this particular building, this coin-operated laundry work. And would you mind putting do you have like the survey? Maybe put some of the drawings up here as I can maybe speak to it a little bit better. You should have the survey, maybe not. Well, let's go ahead and maybe the photos would be good. This property right now is made up of actually two existing buildings. They're pushed together with the hard corner at 18th and Minnesota as a very small parking lot. And as Jacob mentioned, there's a curb cut right there at the corner from Minnesota onto the property. We know that the staff and the master plan looks for these buildings to be up against the street. And we tried very hard to make this laundry work in one of these two buildings, actually planning to tear down the other. We could never make the parking work. The area, I don't know if there's a shot from maybe more from the corner, but the existing parking lot is too small to support the required number of parking that we need to meet city ordinance. And even tearing down the middle or the section of building that's in the middle of the lot did not get us enough parking. Closing the curb cut further kind of exacerbated this. Plus, you can't really tell, but 18th Street goes upgrade quite a bit. The curb cut on 18th Street is probably 3 feet, if not more, above the finished floor and above Minnesota Avenue. So there's a lot of site issues and site constraints. So when the laying that out didn't really work, we still weren't convinced that we couldn't try to do this. We had structural engineer look at the building, contractors looked at the building. Both of the buildings are in very poor shape. And it just turned out to be something that just wasn't really working. If we'd go ahead and see the new site plan, that would be helpful. The landscape plan's fine. So essentially, as you can see, the property is even oddly shaped. There's a section that kind of cuts back to the north. And the very best efficient layout for this was to basically demolish the two buildings and build a new building that's kind of tucked back into that back area. The owner is going to talk a little bit about the issues with when these buildings were pulled, the other buildings that were forward, there was a homeless camp and some other things that were happening. We're trying to pull the building all the way back to sort of eat up that property and allow the parking and the landscaping and everything to be to the north. One more, the floor plan, if you don't mind. The other thing that's very important here, there's the floor plan of the building. This is a coin-operated laundry. The layout, the equipment really dictates how the building needs to be built. The dryers all have to be along an outside wall. The south side of our building and the west side of our building facing the streets, we have lots of glass, lots of storefront, very open, bright, inviting. But to pull all that to the hard corner, it would be great. We could still have glass and everything on the street, but there's not really an efficient way to bring an entrance in from the north or from the east, where the parking would have to be if we were to pull the building all the way to the corner. So with that, if you have any other questions of me or of the civil engineer, we can certainly answer those questions, but I'd like to introduce Tom Lawson, again, the property owner, to talk a little bit about the property, the project.
Public speaking is not a thing I'm good at, so This is my daughter Summer. She's a CPA who decided to come back to work for us after doing the corporate thing. And so
Mr.
anyway,
Lawson,
yes,
sorry to cut you off, but could you please state your name and address for the record?
Tom Lawson, LAWSON, 11999 County Road 363, St. Joseph, Missouri, 64505.
Thank you. Please proceed.
So the existing location as it is, we've recently hauled off two large dump trailers of stuff that the homeless had broke in the fencing back there, and they set up an encampment back there. And so I hesitate having parking behind a building and places for them to hide, and the idea of the building being clear back there, there's no place for them to do all this stuff anymore is part of that philosophy. Some of our other locations, the trash companies complain about homeless, hiding out behind the dumpsters and them dropping a dumpster on them or something. So we're trying to make this as attractive and as unable to be inhabited by the homeless in corners. That's what we're trying to do. It's not uncommon to go by there in the evening after dark and find cars toward the back of the lot, and it seems like drug deals. We find syringes and needles that we clean up on about a weekly basis. And the International Crime Prevention through Environmental Design Association suggests that you try not to have entrapment areas or concealed or isolated routes in isolation. And all of these, they say, are linked to increased crime. And then again, Kathy already said the limited parking. And then being back there, we have everything wide open and glass so that there's visibility for law enforcement to be able to see as they're just driving by. We recently have had the building that's there now broke into, and all the copper plumbing and wiring stole out of it. And they tore an exhaust fan out, climbed up and tore an exhaust fan out, and got inside and stole everything. So, I mean, that's what we're trying to get away from.
So I'm Summer Lawson. I live at 5549 Aberdeen Road, Fairway, Kansas, 66205. I'm within 15 minutes drive time. He's within an hour. And bottom line, laundromats is what we do. We do it pretty dang well, if you ask me. And a few things that nobody hasn't hit before, was that we provide a great product with great design. We hire designers to come in and provide definite artwork within the store without on the outside of the store, which won't be a part of this plan in this location. But we do care about our facility, and we don't do bars on windows. It's open.
And we spend a lot of time trying to keep things clean.
So thanks for your time this evening. Well, morning.
Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any questions for the applicants? Seeing none, I'm gonna,
I have a couple of questions real quick. Is that what we're,
yes, Commissioner Miles.
So you're familiar with the design guidelines?
Yes. And
Okay.
can you put the color rendering up on the screen? Yes, ma'am.
So you understand that this is a downtown area for us, or it's on the edge of downtown.
Right.
So we want it to, blend in and be good for the rest of our downtown.
Yes.
And having the storefronts right up to the sidewalk is what we want and what we need. I understand the concern about the homeless thing and the crime, but if there's a real business in the building that's active and busy, I believe that would reduce the crime and homelessness problem. The way the building looks right now, why wouldn't somebody break into it and camp in the parking lot?
Well, because the parking lot's in front of the building and can be seen from the street. And it wasn't for a lack of trying. We physically, with the lot and the grade, the grade differential, we couldn't get the parking and everything to work around the back of this building, and to try to be able to have site circulation and traffic circulation. And again, the challenge of having the dryers that have to be on an outside wall, essentially not allowing another entrance or something off the back. If you pulled this building up to the corner, parked around the back, you'd have to bring your clothes, your baskets or whatever from the back parking lot where no one can see that from the street, all the way back around to the front of the building. We want that to be open and people to see it, and do understand the desire for and the moving everything up to the street. This property is right at the edge. It's right at the western edge. There's a lot of the building across the street has parking in the front. There's a lot of precedence for that. And I think the civil engineer and the landscape architect have done a good job to try to make that corner very prominent with landscaping. Again, we pulled the curb cuts away from that, so it's a very nice presentation from the corner. I think it would be an asset to the city. It would certainly be an improvement to the dilapidated buildings that are there now. It's a great neighborhood use. Summer, did you have anything you wanted to add?
How long have you owned the building?
To answer your question more specifically, my name is Summer Lawson. Again, apology for the secretary, is that you talked about crime, and with an active building that you would think it would be reduced with homeless problem. I would like to announce that this is again what we do as a family operation in the laundromat business, been before I was born. And on a weekly, daily basis, we deal with this, even with buildings that are backed up against a corner of a wall a lot, let alone if it was out in the front with an entrapment area, according to those SEPTED standards, et cetera.
Commissioner Ward. Commissioner Ward, I
Commissioner
got
Ward?
yeah,
ahead.
I'm gonna go ahead and agree with the people who are petitioning here tonight. I mean, I come from a law enforcement background. Having something behind the building is just inviting more crime. And then as you just mentioned, all the buildings around there on the corners have parking all in front. I think if you have that, your customers are safer. It's more open to the public. You probably have better lighting and better visibility for the building itself. I mean, you're compared to what is on that corner now, has been there since I was a police officer 20 years ago. This is 1,000 times better, whether it's up on the corner or pushed back. So, I mean, I would say going with what you talked about with the parking issue, with the rise in the property itself, this looks to be a fantastic rendering and a fantastic way to put it on the corner, in my opinion.
Commissioner Strauss?
Yeah, just to piggyback, and I know this is kind of a little bit out of order. I know we're trying to close this out, but not only that, but all the buildings on that corner are pushed back. And I think that's great for the line of sight with all the schools that are right up and down that street, with the amount of traffic that are right there on that corner. I can see what's coming at me on that really, really busy double stop sign street with all those buildings pushed back. So I agree.
Commissioner
And
Beth, I have
just
a
to-
question.
Commissioner Beth?
Yeah, what's the building on the east side of that property?
It's a gas station.
And it sits back, right?
Yes, sir.
And on the west side is a laundry,
side's-
dry cleaners,
Across 18th Street is that it?
dry
I think that's
cleaners.
dry cleaners, yes, sir.
And what hours will you guys be operating? To midnight? Okay, and I have to agree with you as a certified trainer in SEPTED for the police department in my career. It's the visibility, the lighting. I agree. It's consistent with the other property there with the parking in front. And I agree with what Commissioner Strauss says. It's a corner that could be a blind corner real easily. if anything was too close to the roadway. I agree with what other comments were.
Yeah, and I just to reiterate and agree with everyone from those comments. I grew up 2 blocks from this. It'd be nice to get a little update to that corner. Plus the corner directly across from it, across Minnesota, has a big parking lot right in front of it as well. So are there any other questions for the applicant? Seeing none, I'm going to open the public portion of this meeting. Is there anyone online who'd like to speak in favor or in opposition to this request? Please raise your hand. Seeing none, anyone in the chambers, Director Hand?
Nobody in the chamber, Mr. Chair.
Seeing no one for public comment, we're going to close the public portion of this meeting and get staff comment.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Gunnar Hand, Director of Planning and Urban Design. Again, this is a final development plan for the laundromat. This is in the downtown area plan. Staff received no letters of support, no letters in opposition. Again, there is a history of notice of violations on this property as it's been abandoned prior to this project and within the last year. Real quick, this is the gateway to downtown. This is the intersection that begins our downtown area plan. As such, it has very specific design guidelines to be an entry point. A lot of people talked about different standards in the existing context. If you look at this building, it was built before our zoning code, so were these. There was an interurban railroad that cut straight through this property, which is why the building across the street is designed at an angle. It used to have a railroad that went right up to it. So that is a leftover that turned into a parking lot. These are historic context. The other kitty corner from it, or catty corner, depending on where you are from America, that's a vacant parcel that used to be a building right at the corner. For those of you who have been on the commission for quite some time, you'll remember this intersection just across the street up at 18th and State. We went through quite the ordeal to make sure that building was on the corner and appropriately sited, and it's outside of the downtown area plan. As an urban designer, I guess I would say a couple of things. There is a design solution to this. The grade, yes, it does slope from Minnesota back. I would argue not enough to warrant some the design that is proposed. Again, I believe strongly there's a design solution here, but namely it goes against our area plan. It's not just the commercial design guidelines we're talking about like we did with Atlas 9, but also the design guidelines that are inherent in our downtown plan that specifically don't want us to build suburban style developments with parking lots in the front. We are trying to not build those things in our downtown. We are trying to rebuild a walkable neighborhood that requires buildings to the street. Staff recommends denial.
Do we have any questions for staff? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Commissioner Ward,
Commissioner Ward,
I move to approve PR 2023-028, subject staff stipulations and comments.
do we have a second? Commissioner Strauss,
Yeah, I'll second that.
we have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Seeing no discussion, roll call.
Moeller,
Aye.
Strauss,
Aye.
Ward,
Aye.
Armstrong,
Nay.
Beth,
Aye.
Isles,
Nay.
Ernst.
Nay.
Mr. Chairman, since there are 8 people here, my vote is 4-3. I do need to have your vote. Because it takes 5 to pass a motion.
What happens if I go no?
Need another motion.
I don't have. I'll vote no.
Okay, so that motion to recommend approval is tied at 4-4.
Okay, do we have a motion on the floor?
This is Commissioner Outs. I can make a motion to deny. Second. I'm gonna make a motion to deny petition PR 2023-028 as it's not in compliance with the city ordinances and it will not promote the public health, safety, and welfare of the city of Kansas City, Kansas, and other reasons that have been mentioned.
Is that a second, Commissioner Armstrong?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Moeller,
No.
Straws,
No.
Ward,
No.
Armstrong,
Aye.
Beth,
No.
Isles,
Aye.
Ernst,
Aye.
Miller.
Aye.
So, Mr. Chairman, it's still 4-4. Final plats do not go to the Board of Commissioners. So
We could hold it over
Hold
and
it
you could
over.
ask them to work with staff on additional design revisions.
Is there anyone willing to make a motion on that, or do we have a different kind of substitute motion? Commissioner Armstrong,
I move to hold over PR 2023-028 to work with staff on design guidelines.
we have a second. Commissioner
Commissioner
Ernst,
Strauss seconded.
we have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, roll call.
Moeller,
Aye.
Straws,
Aye.
Ward,
Nay.
Armstrong,
Aye.
Beth,
No.
I'm sorry,
No.
Isles,
Yes.
Ernst,
Aye.
Mr. Chairman, that motion to hold over passes 2, 3, 4, 5 in favor and 2 opposed. So it'll be held over till next month's meeting.
Thank you. Please work with staff on the issues that were presented here today to come back before us here in our December meeting. Janet, please call the next case.
Our next case is Plan Review PR 2023-029, Nick Hanaway. Preliminary and final development plan to construct a new Burger King restaurant at 7736 State Avenue. Please include the following items as part of the record for this case. The city's currently adopted zoning and subdivision regulations, the official zoning map for the area in question, the city's currently adopted master plan for the area in question, the staff report and attachments dated November 13, 2023, the application and other documents, plans, pictures, and maps submitted by the applicant in furtherance of the case and contained in the official file, and the notices to property owners. Does any member of the commission have any contact to disclose on this application? Thank you.
Mr. Hanaway, I have promoted you. Please state your name and address for the record and tell us a little bit about your project.
Yeah, hi, this is Nick Hanaway. I'm at 5015 Northwest Canal Street in Riverside, Missouri. I'm here about the Burger King at 7736 State Avenue. I'm the civil engineer on this project. I'm with Renaissance Infrastructure Consulting. submitting on behalf of the owner, which is Legacy Wyandotte LLC. So yeah, this is for a preliminary and final development plan. The existing site is an existing Burger King. Part of this project is going to be a full demolition of the building. Then we're going to do construction of a new revamped building, new parking lot. The layout also includes a double order drive-through lane to help with some of the queue lengths they've been having in the drive-through. And then we'll also be doing some new landscaping. So yeah, with that, we're looking for approval of the preliminary and final development plan.
Are there any questions of the applicant? Seeing none, I'm going to open the public portion of the meeting. Is there anyone in the audience who'd like to speak in favor of or in opposition to this request? I don't see any online. Director Hand, is there anyone in the chambers?
No one left in the chamber.
Seeing none, I'm going to close the public portion of the meeting and get staff comment.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Gunnar Hand, Director of Planning and Urban Design. Again, we have a preliminary and final development plan for a new revised Burger King at its existing location. This is in the citywide comprehensive plan in the Midtown area. Staff received no letter of support, no letters in opposition. There are no notices of violation. Staff does recommend approval with conditions. There are deviations from the commercial design guidelines built into that approval. Again, very similar to Atlas 9. We're looking at where it needs to be. It is in the corner. There is a drive through basically around the site. They're not really moving the location of it. It has had some issues with pedestrian access from State Avenue up. There really is a lot of grade to mids, and I'm trying to find a good picture for you. You can't really see it, but basically there's a retaining wall between here and there. So to get ADA access would require them to go all the way down to 78th Street and back. We tried to work and find a sidewalk connection closer to this access. But at the end of the day, you got yourself a drive-through in a suburban part of town. And so there are 1, 2, 3, 4 deviations being requested.
I don't know that I heard it, but did we get staff's recommendation there?
Approval.
Do we have any questions for staff? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion. Commissioner Armstrong.
I recommend approval of PR 2023-029, including the 4 deviations that are built into the staff report.
Is that a second, Commissioner Ernst?
Yes, sir.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, roll call.
Moeller,
Aye.
Strauss,
Aye.
Ward,
Aye.
Armstrong,
Aye.
Beth,
Aye.
Isles,
Aye.
Ernst.
Aye.
Mr. Chairman, this item will go to the Board of Commissioners. So that motion to recommend approval of this item, subject to the conditions in the staff report, passes 7 in favor and none opposed.
Thank you, Mr. Hanaway. Your application will be heard again November 30th at 7 p.m. in the commission chambers. Should we take a break before our last item or just no?
Yes. This is our last item for the night or the morning. Master Plan Amendment Application MPL 2023-015, Gunnar H. Hand, AICP, Unified Government of Wyandotte County, Kansas City, Kansas. Master Plan Amendment from Planned Mixed Residential to Planned Entertainment District, Perry, Delaware Piper Area Plan at 1800 Village West Parkway. Please include the following items as part of the record for this case. The city's currently adopted zoning and subdivision regulations, the official zoning map for the area in question, the city's currently adopted master plan for the area in question, the staff report and attachments dated November 13, 2023, the application and other documents, plans, pictures, and maps submitted by the applicant in furtherance of the case and contained in the official file, the notice in the Wyandotte Echo, and the notices to property owners. Does any member of the commission have any contact to disclose on this application?
No. Director
Thank you.
Hand?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Gunnar Hand, Director of Planning and Design. This is a follow-up to the special use permit that was approved last month for Legends Field. It was a condition of approval to also do the master plan amendment. In this case, we're going from regional commercial to entertainment. This is in the Prairie, Delaware, Piper area plan. We've received no letters of support, no letters in opposition, no notices of violation. Staff recommends approval with conditions. One quick caveat, there is an error in this staff report as well. We basically took the SUP staff report and turned it into the master plan staff report. And so there's a couple of conditions in here that read as if it's a special use permit. So we would just ask that all of those conditions for special use permit be removed and then it can move forward as is. Apologize for that.
So 2 months in a row, Gunnar, you're coming to us to ask for forgiveness rather than permission?
That's correct.
Nah, no problem.
In a row.
Are there any questions for staff? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion. Commissioner Armstrong.
I move to approve MPL 2023-015 to include removing the special use permit conditions and the rest be approved per staff comments and stipulations.
Is that a second, Commissioner Ernst?
Yes.
Is there any discussion? Seeing none, roll call.
Moeller,
Aye.
Strauss,
Aye.
Ward,
Aye.
Armstrong,
Aye.
Beth,
Aye.
Isles,
Aye.
Ernst.
Aye.
Mr. Chairman, that motion to recommend approval of this master plan amendment passes 7 in favor and none opposed. Mr. Chairman, that completes our agenda.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone, and thank you for bearing with me.
You did a fine job.
Yeah, very good, Jake.
I walked up at 11:45 and thought, man, I thought I was going to be off the hook and not have to do it tonight.
Janet, I only missed it by an hour.
No kidding.
You did good, Mr. Miller. We didn't put anything off until next month, except for the one thing.
I just want to say that I walked in and I thought, man, there's still 16 items left.